Your doctor may check your blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight every year, but there's one topic most never bring up, even though ignoring it could quietly rob you of your strength, your heart health, and your mental sharpness. I'm talking about your sexual health. Specifically, the role of regular sexual activity, even when it's just you and yourself. Many men believe that once they hit their 60s, 70s, or beyond, sexual activity doesn't really matter anymore. They think it's just about desire, and when desire fades, it's no big deal. But the science says otherwise. When sexual activity disappears completely, your body starts to lose key hormones and neurochemicals that keep your muscles strong, your mood steady, your heart pumping efficiently, and your brain firing on all cylinders. Without them, decline comes faster, and it's often mistaken for just getting older. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what happens inside your body when you stop being sexually active, and why restoring this simple, natural practice can help you protect your independence, energy, and emotional well-being at any age. This isn't about locker room talk. This is about keeping your body's most important systems alive and working for you, so you can stay strong, sharp, and confident in every part of life. I'm Dr. Catherine Rocker, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist. For more than 20 years, I've worked with thousands of men over 60, helping them restore their energy, protect their prostate, and keep their bodies functioning the way nature intended. And I can tell you this, the conversation we're about to have is one that should be happening in every exam room, but rarely does. Too many men suffer in silence, not realizing there's a safe, natural, and deeply human way to support their health, without prescriptions, injections, or expensive treatments. I've seen what happens when sexual activity disappears completely. Hormone levels drop faster, muscles weaken, recovery slows, and moods darken. But I've also seen the other side, men in their 70s and 80s who stay active in this one area, and as a result, keep more strength, vitality, and joy in their daily lives. Everything I'll share today is grounded in medical research and backed by real patient experiences. My goal is simple: to help you understand why sexual health matters more than you think, and to give you the tools to preserve it, no matter your age. Somewhere along the way, many men start to believe a quiet myth, that sexual activity is optional after a certain age, that it's just about desire, and if desire fades, nothing important is lost. But your body tells a very different story. When sexual activity stops, whether with a partner or through private self-touch, your physiology begins to shift. Hormones like testosterone and growth hormone drop more quickly. Blood flow to the pelvic area slows. The neurochemicals that protect your mood and help you sleep, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, are produced in lower amounts. It's not a moral issue, it's biology, and biology has consequences. I remember Harold, an 82-year-old retired contractor. For decades, he had the kind of physical strength you could see in his hands and shoulders. 2 years after losing his wife, he came into my clinic shuffling his feet, struggling to open a jar of peanut butter. His diet hadn't changed. His activity level hadn't dropped drastically, but he had completely stopped all forms of sexual activity. In that time, he lost 12 pounds of lean muscle mass. His body had slipped into a conserve not build mode. Then there was Margaret, 76, a widow who lived alone. She complained of constant fatigue and trouble carrying groceries. Tests showed her grip strength had fallen by 40% in just 18 months, far faster than expected. Her hormone levels were suppressed, and she was showing advanced signs of sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that robs so many older adults of their independence. The root cause? Without sexual stimulation, the body misses key hormonal surges that tell muscles to rebuild and tissues to repair. Without those signals, muscle breakdown accelerates, strength declines, fatigue sets in, and it doesn't stop with muscles. The same absence of stimulation affects heart health, mental clarity, pain tolerance, and emotional resilience. It's like a chain reaction. Once the first system starts to weaken, others follow. The tragedy is that most men think this is just old age. But in reality, part of the decline is preventable. Your body doesn't stop needing intimacy simply because the calendar moves forward. Sexual activity, yes, even solo, keeps biological systems engaged, responsive, and ready to support you. Understanding this root cause is the first step to reversing it. And that's exactly what we'll cover next. How reintroducing this natural practice can protect your strength, heart, mind, and more. The good news is that the decline we've just talked about isn't a one-way street. Your body is remarkably responsive, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. The solution isn't complicated. It doesn't require a prescription or a trip to the gym. It's something you can do privately, at your own pace, in the comfort of your own home. Regular sexual activity, whether with a partner or through self-pleasure, signals your body to keep producing the hormones, neurochemicals, and blood flow that protect your strength, mood, heart, and brain. It's like sending a message to every system in your body. Stay active, keep building, don't shut down. Over the years, I've seen men regain energy, sleep better, think more clearly, and even reduce chronic pain, simply by reintroducing this natural practice into their routine. And research backs it up. Sexual activity is tied to longer independence, better mobility, and higher quality of life in older adults. In the rest of this video, I'll walk you through 6 key benefits that come from keeping this part of your life alive, and how to do it safely, confidently, and without shame. Benefit 1. Preserving muscle strength and mobility. As we age, one of the greatest threats to independence is the gradual loss of muscle, what doctors call sarcopenia. By the time someone reaches 80, nearly half of older adults show signs of it. But what many people don't realize is that sexual activity plays a measurable role in slowing this process down. When you're sexually active, whether with a partner or through self-pleasure, your body releases anabolic hormones like testosterone and growth hormone. These are the chemical messengers that tell your muscles, preserve, repair, grow. Without them, your body shifts into a breakdown mode, allowing muscle loss to accelerate. I think back to Harold, the 82-year-old retired contractor. For decades, he had the kind of physical strength you could see in his hands and shoulders. 2 years after losing his wife, with no sexual activity at all, he lost 12 pounds of lean muscle mass. Without changing his diet, he could no longer lift heavy objects, and his balance became unsteady. Research backs up what I saw in Harold. A large study of men over 65 found a strong correlation between sexual function and hand grip strength, a proven marker of overall muscle health. Another study showed that men who stayed sexually active had significantly higher testosterone and growth hormone levels than those who were inactive. Muscle loss doesn't just affect appearance, it impacts everything. Weak muscles make daily activities harder. Climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even getting up from a chair requires more effort. Over time, weakness leads to less movement, and less movement leads to even more weakness. It's a vicious cycle. Here's the encouraging part. By maintaining sexual activity, you keep stimulating those hormone surges that protect your muscles, and it doesn't take extreme effort. Regular, comfortable sessions, just a few times a week, can help maintain the signals your body needs to keep building instead of breaking down. Think of it like keeping a machine in working order. If you never turn it on, the parts stiffen and stop working. But if you run it regularly, even at low speed, it stays functional and ready when you need it. If you've noticed your arms or legs looking smaller, or if you've been feeling weaker despite eating well, your sexual health could be part of the equation. Restoring that activity could mean preserving the strength you need to stay independent in the years ahead. Benefit 2. Balancing hormones and improving mood. One of the most overlooked effects of sexual activity, especially in later life, is how it keeps your hormones and brain chemistry in balance. When this balance is lost, the results show up in your sleep, your energy, your motivation, and even your emotional resilience. Sexual stimulation triggers the release of powerful neurochemicals. Oxytocin calms your nervous system and strengthens emotional connection. Dopamine boosts motivation and drive. Serotonin stabilizes mood and helps regulate sleep. Endorphins reduce pain and create a sense of well-being. It also supports testosterone production, which fuels not only libido, but also muscle maintenance, energy levels, and mental sharpness. When sexual activity disappears, these systems go quiet. Cortisol, the stress hormone, tends to rise, which can leave you feeling tense, restless, or emotionally flat. Robert, a 79-year-old patient of mine, knew this all too well. He came to me saying, "I feel like I'm slipping away." He wasn't sleeping through the night. His moods were unpredictable, and he had no drive to do the things he once loved. His lab results told the story. Low testosterone, high cortisol, and disrupted neurotransmitter patterns. The reason? He and his wife had stopped all intimacy 3 years earlier. Then there was Sarah, a 74-year-old widow who hadn't been sexually active for nearly a decade. She felt chronically tired and low in mood, and her sleep was fragmented. With gentle encouragement, she began incorporating self-pleasure into her routine. Within months, she noticed deeper sleep, lighter thoughts, and a renewed sense of purpose. Her hormone profile improved enough that she was able to reduce her antidepressant dosage under supervision. The science is clear. Regular sexual activity keeps your hormonal control panel switched on. When you stimulate your body, you trigger the chemical chain reactions that help you feel calmer, more motivated, and more emotionally connected. You don't need marathon sessions or pressure to perform. Even short, comfortable moments of arousal and release can bring these systems back online. Think of it as flipping a switch that tells your body and mind, "We're still active, we're still engaged, we're still building." In the next section, we'll explore why this same hormonal support doesn't just make you feel better, it also protects one of your most vital organs, your heart. Benefit 3. Protecting heart and circulation. Your heart is more than a pump. It's a muscle, and like any muscle, it thrives on regular, healthy stimulation. Sexual activity, partnered or solo, provides a unique kind of workout for your cardiovascular system that you can't get from walking alone. During arousal and release, your heart rate rises, blood vessels dilate, and muscles throughout your body contract in rhythmic patterns. This improves circulation, keeps your blood vessels flexible, and supports healthy blood pressure. One of the most important effects is the release of nitric oxide, a natural compound that relaxes and expands your blood vessels. This allows oxygen-rich blood to flow freely, reduces clot risk, and protects against stiffening arteries. When sexual activity stops completely, the heart and blood vessels lose that periodic boost. Over time, circulation weakens, vessels become less elastic, and blood pressure tends to rise. James, a 68-year-old retired executive, learned this the hard way. After struggling with erectile dysfunction, he stopped all forms of intimacy. 6 months later, he suffered a heart attack. His blood pressure had spiked, and tests showed increased arterial stiffness compared to just a year earlier. He was shocked when I explained that his inactivity may have contributed to the decline. The research backs it up. Men who remain sexually active have lower rates of heart disease and stroke. and in some studies, even lower all-cause mortality. For women, regular sexual activity helps maintain estrogen-related vascular protection, slowing cardiovascular aging after menopause. Think of sexual activity as a tune-up for your circulatory system. Just as you'd run an engine to keep it from seizing, engaging in regular sexual stimulation keeps your vascular system responsive and ready. This isn't about intense exertion or performance pressure. Even gentle, consistent activity sends your heart and blood vessels the signal to stay strong. If you've been feeling more winded during short walks, or if climbing stairs feels harder than it used to, part of the solution could start in a more private place. Your heart responds to movement, circulation, and hormonal support, 3 things sexual activity delivers naturally. And when your heart is strong, every other part of your life benefits. Next, we'll look at another area most people never connect to sexual health: chronic pain. You may be surprised at how closely the two are linked. Benefit 4: reducing chronic pain. Naturally, if you live with chronic pain, whether it's arthritis, back pain, or muscle aches, you probably rely on medication for relief. But what most people don't realize is that your body has its own built-in pain control system. And one of the simplest ways to activate it is through regular sexual stimulation. When you engage in sexual activity, your brain releases endorphins, your body's natural opioids. These chemicals block pain signals in the same neural pathways that many pain medications target. Alongside endorphins, you also get a boost of oxytocin, a hormone that calms the nervous system and reduces the perception of discomfort. The result? A few hours of noticeably less pain, improved sleep, and a calmer, more relaxed body. Eleanor, an 81-year-old retired nurse, came into my office in tears. Her arthritis pain was worsening despite prescription medication. Sleep was fragmented. Fatigue was constant, and nothing seemed to help. As we talked, she mentioned that after her husband's passing 5 years earlier, she had stopped all forms of sexual activity. No intimacy, no self-touch. I gently explained the role of sexual stimulation in pain regulation. With an open mind, Eleanor began reintroducing small private moments of pleasure. No pressure, no expectations. Within 3 months, she reported sleeping through the night again. Her arthritis flare-ups were less frequent, and she reduced her pain medication by 60% under her doctor's guidance. She smiled and said, "I wish I'd known this sooner." Scientific studies confirm what Eleanor experienced. Older adults who maintain sexual activity report lower levels of chronic pain and greater pain tolerance. It's not luck. It's chemistry. When sexual activity stops, the internal pharmacy of endorphins and oxytocin shuts down. Pain becomes sharper, sleep becomes shallower, and medications may lose effectiveness. Over time, the constant discomfort affects your mood, your mobility, and your desire to participate in life. Reactivating this natural pain relief system doesn't require anything strenuous. Gentle, consistent sexual stimulation, even once or twice a week, can keep those chemical pathways active, giving you more comfort and better quality of life without increasing your medication load. Pain doesn't have to be the loudest voice in your day. Sometimes, the key to quieting it is already built into your body. You just have to give it the signal to work. Next, we'll explore another benefit that's often hidden until it's gone: how sexual activity supports your brain, memory, and mental clarity. Benefit 5: sharpening cognitive function and mental clarity. Most people think of sexual health as a physical matter: muscles, hormones, and circulation. But your brain may be one of the biggest beneficiaries. Sexual activity plays a direct role in supporting mental clarity, memory, and focus, especially as you age. Here's why. Regular sexual stimulation activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore mode of your body. This reduces cortisol, your main stress hormone, which, when elevated for too long, can damage brain cells in areas responsible for memory and decision making. At the same time, sexual activity increases dopamine, which boosts motivation, and oxytocin, which strengthens feelings of connection and safety. Together, these chemicals create a more stable, focused, and resilient mental state. Margaret, a 69-year-old widow, came to me with anxiety that seemed to appear out of nowhere. Driving made her palms sweat, grocery shopping felt overwhelming, and her sleep was light and restless. She had stopped all sexual activity years earlier, believing it was no longer relevant after her husband's passing. I explained that sexual stimulation wasn't just about intimacy, it was about giving her brain the chemistry it needed to stay calm and sharp. With patience and self-kindness, Margaret began reconnecting with her body through gentle self-touch. Within weeks, her sleep improved. Her anxiety softened. She even began enjoying errands again, no longer dreading simple daily activities. Studies have shown that sexually active seniors tend to perform better on certain memory and cognitive tests compared to those who are inactive. The reason isn't mysterious. It's chemistry. Lower cortisol, higher dopamine, and improved blood flow to the brain create an environment where your mind can function at its best. When sexual activity stops, the opposite happens. Stress hormones build up, sleep becomes shallow, and mental fog can creep in. Over time, you may feel less engaged with the world, less motivated to learn new things, and less confident in decision-making. Many chalk it up to getting older, but in some cases, it's simply a body and brain that are missing their regular tune-up. Reintroducing sexual activity, whether partnered or solo, can be a quiet but powerful tool for keeping your brain alert and your mood steady. It's about more than pleasure. It's about preserving the part of you that wakes up ready to engage with life. Next, we'll look at the sixth and final benefit: how staying sexually connected can restore not just your health, but your relationship with yourself. Benefit 6: reconnecting with yourself and restoring confidence. The final benefit is perhaps the most personal. Sexual activity, especially self-pleasure, isn't only about hormones, circulation, or even physical health. It's about maintaining your relationship with yourself. As a urologist, I've seen what happens when men and women slowly disconnect from their own bodies. Sometimes it starts with physical changes: erectile difficulties, lower desire, changes after menopause. Sometimes it begins with emotional barriers: grief, shame, or the belief that sexual expression has an expiration date. Arthur, a 72-year-old former business owner, told me he avoided intimacy altogether because he feared he couldn't perform like he used to. Over time, he stopped even private touch. His confidence eroded, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life. He spoke less in social settings, saw friends less often, and described himself as a shadow of the man he used to be. Then there's Margaret, who, after years of caring for others, believed that chapter of her life was closed. She stopped seeing herself as a sensual whole person. Without realizing it, she cut off a source of joy, self-recognition, and emotional stability. When we reframe self-pleasure as self-care, not performance, not vanity, it becomes a tool for emotional restoration. It sends a message to your nervous system: I'm still here. I still belong to myself. That message can lower stress hormones, improve self-esteem, and rekindle a sense of vitality that spills into every part of life. Studies link regular sexual activity in older adults to better mood, higher self-rated quality of life, and stronger emotional resilience. And while connection with a partner is wonderful, solo activity can offer the same benefits. It's private, pressure-free, and entirely under your control. When you stop engaging physically with yourself, you risk a slow drift into disconnection, not just from your body, but from your own identity. That disconnection can quietly feed loneliness, anxiety, and loss of confidence. Reconnection starts small. It might mean simply allowing yourself to explore touch without judgment. Over time, that physical reconnection can help you stand taller, speak more confidently, and re-enter relationships, romantic or otherwise, with a renewed sense of self-worth. It's not about chasing youth. It's about honoring the whole of who you are, right now. And when you reclaim that connection, every system in your body, from your brain to your heart, takes notice. Now that we've covered all 6 benefits, let's talk about what happens when you combine them, and why the synergy is even more powerful than any single benefit on its own. The synergy effect. Each of the 6 benefits we've discussed, stronger muscles, balanced hormones, a healthier heart, less pain, sharper thinking, and deeper self-connection, is powerful on its own. But when you combine them, something remarkable happens. They create a feedback loop that keeps you healthier, stronger, and more resilient than any single benefit could do alone. Think of it like gears in a well-oiled machine. When one turns, it drives the others forward. Sexual activity triggers hormones that preserve muscle. Stronger muscles mean you move more easily. More movement improves circulation and heart health. Better heart health means better oxygen delivery to your brain, which sharpens memory and focus. Clearer thinking and better mood make you more likely to stay active, socially engaged, and confident. And that confidence feeds back into your willingness to maintain your sexual health. I've seen this synergy firsthand in patients like Leonard, a 74-year-old widower. When he first came to see me, he was fatigued, sore, and struggling with low mood. He'd stopped sexual activity years earlier, telling himself, "That part of my life is over." We started with small, manageable steps: light exercise, pelvic floor work, and gentle self-touch to reactivate his hormonal and circulatory systems. Within 3 months, Leonard reported more energy. His morning stiffness had eased. He was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. At 6 months, his blood pressure had improved, his grip strength was stronger, and he described feeling present in conversations again. This wasn't magic. It was biology. Each benefit built on the next, creating a cycle of renewal. The beauty of synergy is that you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You can start with one small action, maybe reintroducing a few moments of self-pleasure each week, and let the benefits stack up over time. Your muscles respond. Your mood lifts. Your energy returns. And before you know it, the other gears start turning on their own. The key is consistency, not intensity. Just as brushing your teeth daily prevents problems years down the road, maintaining your sexual health now sets you up for a longer, stronger, more independent future. In the next section, we'll talk about some common mistakes people make when trying to revive their sexual health and how to avoid them so you can keep the cycle moving in your favor. Common mistakes to avoid. When it comes to maintaining sexual health later in life, the biggest obstacles aren't usually medical. They're mental. Many men over 60 unknowingly sabotage their progress with a few common mistakes. Mistake 1: believing sexual health is optional at this age. The most dangerous assumption is that sexual activity no longer matters once you're older. This mindset causes men to ignore a tool that directly supports muscle mass, heart function, hormone balance, and mood. The truth is, your body never stops benefiting from stimulation. Mistake 2: letting shame or outdated beliefs stop you. Some grew up hearing that self-pleasure was wrong or unnecessary. Others feel embarrassed to even talk about it. This silence can cost you years of strength, vitality, and emotional well-being. Remember, this is not about morality. It's about preventive health care for your muscles, brain, and heart. Mistake 3. Relying only on medication for energy, mood, or function. While certain conditions require treatment, pills alone can't replace the hormonal surges, circulation boosts, and chemical releases that come from natural sexual activity. Ignoring this part of your health means leaving a powerful side effect-free tool unused. Mistake 4. Trying to do too much, too soon. If you've been inactive for a while, jumping into frequent, intense sessions can cause discomfort or frustration. The key is to start small, build consistency, and focus on comfort over performance. By recognizing and avoiding these mistakes, you can approach sexual health in a way that's sustainable, private, and free of unnecessary pressure. In the next section, I'll give you a clear 7 to 30-day action plan, so you'll know exactly how to start, progress, and make this part of your health routine a lasting habit. 30-day action plan. If you've been inactive for months or even years, the idea of restarting your sexual health routine might feel awkward. That's normal. The key is to make it gradual, private, and comfortable, so it becomes something you look forward to rather than a chore. Week 1. Gentle reconnection. Your only goal this week is to reconnect with your body. Set aside a few quiet moments, free from distraction. No performance goals, just gentle touch and awareness. Even brief arousal begins to wake up your hormonal and circulatory systems. Week 2. Build consistency. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions spread across the week. These don't have to be long or intense. The goal is to keep sending your body the stay active signal. If partnered intimacy is available and comfortable, include it, but solo activity works just as well. Week 3. Support your efforts. Physically, add light physical activity, walking, stretching, or pelvic floor exercises to enhance blood flow and muscle response. Combine this with your regular sexual stimulation for a stronger overall effect. Week 4 and beyond. Keep the cycle going. By now, your body will likely feel more responsive. You may notice better sleep, improved mood, and more energy. Keep your sessions consistent, adjusting frequency to what feels natural and sustainable. This plan isn't about numbers. It's about building a rhythm that keeps your muscles, hormones, heart, and brain engaged. Start small, stay steady, and let the benefits build over time. Next, we'll wrap up with a call to action and a motivational push to help you commit to this important part of your health. We've covered a lot today. 6 powerful ways sexual activity supports your strength, your heart, your mood, your pain levels, your mental clarity, and even your connection with yourself. But knowledge only changes your life when you act on it. So here's my challenge to you. Make a decision today to stop seeing sexual health as optional. Whether you're with a partner or on your own, this is one of the simplest, safest, and most effective ways to protect your independence and vitality as you age. Start small. Follow the 7 to 30-day plan. Let your body relearn the rhythms it's been missing. In a few weeks, you might be surprised at how much better you sleep, how much lighter your mood feels, and how much more energy you have for the things you enjoy. And I'd love to hear from you. If you believe sexual health still matters after 60, type 1 in the comments. If you're not convinced yet, type 0. Let's see where our community stands, and let's talk about it openly. If this video has given you something to think about, share it with a friend who could benefit. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, so you never miss research-backed advice to help you stay strong, sharp, and independent at any age. Your body has been your partner through every chapter of your life. It's carried you through work, family, challenges, and victories. And it still wants to work for you, if you give it the signals it needs. Sexual health isn't about chasing youth or meeting anyone else's expectations. It's about honoring your body's natural systems and keeping them alive, engaged, and responsive. It's about protecting the strength to stand on your own, the clarity to make good decisions, and the joy that makes life worth living. Whether you're 60, 70, or 80 plus, you can still reconnect with yourself. You can still preserve your vitality. You can still feel proud of the way you show up each day. Start where you are. Start gently, but start today. The benefits go far beyond the bedroom. They touch every part of your health and every part of your life. You are not too old, and it is not too late. Your body still matters. And when you care for it, it will reward you with more years of strength, independence, and confidence. Here's to your health, and to never giving up on yourself.